home for the holidays, taking you back where it all started, my home where I grew up, to show you how ATHLEAN-X got to be what it is today. What's up guys, Jeff Cavalier, ATHLEAN-X.com. As I said, we're going to bring you back home for the holidays. I came back home, you know, over Christmas here, and it always brings back memories of where I kind of grew up and how I started out working out. And I thought it might be kind of cool to show you guys exactly where that was, so you can see what the birth of ATHLEAN-X and really what into the development of that program so many years ago when I first got started out. So let's get out and see how it all started. Back home, the first thing that you're going to see is this nice peaceful swing set, but I never used that or really cared about that. What I used and cared about was that right there, that tree limb. And what I want to show you guys is that I don't want to hear excuses about the fact that I don't have a pull-up bar or there's nothing that I can do pull-ups with, or even my ab work, because if you've got a tree, you've got a pull-up bar. Alright, so let me show you exactly what I used to do right here on this limb to overcome any of those equipment limitations that people do talk about. So alright, like I said, the tree limb here, all you have to do is find one, jump up to it, and start doing your pull-ups on it. The cool thing about this is that the uneven grip here, this way, and also the thickness makes it a grip training exercise as well, not just a back exercise. Same thing, I would come out here and do my ab work, any hanging ab work. Right? You could use this for anything. Even the scissors that we did the other day. Right? Ab pull-ups. The idea was, I tried to do what I could here, and this is where the creativity was really started, I think, was when you're given limited resources, you usually find that you can be a lot more creative in the exercises that you can come up with to be able to use what you have. Creativity with ATHLEAN-X definitely started here at the ab tree. Alright, so now we're going to go inside as I take you down into the basement. Right? This is where all great things are made with ATHLEAN-X. The first thing I want you to see, though, is sort of my studying lab here. This was it. And basically, I even have some that I never even got through. Guys, I used to pour through these magazines. I mean, look at Muscle Media. This is back in sometime in the 90s, almost 20 years ago. You know, where I would pour through these magazines and see what actually made sense to me and what didn't, and you know, tear out the articles that made sense. Right? I mean, Men's Muscle and Fitness magazine. You know, all the ads, all the different ways to train. And guys, honestly, I've tried a lot of the workouts in here too over the years. Things like this. 5 weeks to a ripped physique, and wound up overtraining so bad that I could hardly move the next day, and I would only find myself getting smaller and smaller. You know, here with 3 sets, 3 sets, 3 sets, 2 sets, 2 sets, 3. I mean, you're doing like 25, 30 sets in a workout, and you know, the idea of overtraining was just not something they addressed in these magazines, because frankly, most of the guys that were in here were using drugs, and they had unlimited recoverability. But for a guy like me who had no idea, thinking that that was the way to do it, I mean, I didn't end up looking like this guy. You know, and thankfully no, because that's really not what ATHLEAN-X is all about anyway. We try to be functional and muscular and strong, but, you know, not look like cartoon characters. So, but what I want you to see is that a lot of that, again, all the magazines, I had thousands of magazines, would go into categorization here of coming up with the things, again, that I said would make sense. You know, so in regards to arms training, what things actually made sense. different concepts, periodization, cross training, lifting speed, things like that. I would take them out and read through them. Same thing here, all about nutrition, different things on insulin management and minerals and creatine and vitamin C and vitamins and the whole thing. But the education started there, guys, and again, hours and hours and hours, which then led to an interest in physical therapy and a little bit more sophisticated topics, joint structure and function, biomechanics of our musculoskeletal system, color anatomy, color atlas of the brain and spinal cord, and principles of neuroscience. I mean, some not fun courses, but again, it sort of was all sparked back in the day and then carried through to, an education that I feel really carved out what ATHLEAN-X is all about. So this is sort of my learning lab. Now let's take a look at the gym. So now you're looking at the ATHLEAN-X gym, way back in its infancy. This is it, guys. This is it. And then I had the one piece of cardio equipment that I used that I think my father actually bought, the old Nordic Track. And this is my space to work out, right here. So I would take my weights and I'd farmer walk them right into this room and do whatever I had to do. Didn't have high ceilings, okay, was very limited in space and equipment. But what's interesting, guys, is that you can do this. You can do your workouts. Everything I learned from as I grew up is what shaped ATHLEAN-X. I don't need a lot of equipment or space to do the ATHLEAN-X program, and neither do you. You just need a desire to do it. I had these old Marcy weight plates here that I used to have to screw on here. That took me probably 20 minutes every workout just to switch plates on and off. But the concept is that if there's a will, there's a way. And again, I make it so that you can do these workouts in ATHLEAN-X without having to do much in the way of redesigning your whole house to fit a gym. That right there, that's the first dumbbell that I ever used, my 5-pounders. And I still just use these today. I don't use anything heavier than that. Kidding, obviously, but this is it. This is what I had. I had a set of dumbbells. I would use the weight plates and hold them to get heavier weights as I could. This right here, got all my forearm work done with the old, forearm gripper. Now here's a cool little tip for you if you guys still use these. Don't just use these to grip your hands in and out like that. If you want a really cool exercise, grip it and then flex the wrist and then extend the wrist. Flex the wrist and extend the wrist, and see how many of those you can hold without letting the gripper separate. It's a much different exercise, and again, it's really another concept of that time under tension applied to forearm training. And then right here, that was my sound system, baby, right there. Right there. An old Discman, could rock out to Run DMC or whoever else I'd kind of use for motivation. Alright, so this is it. And again, the concept here, guys, is not a lot of room, but definitely a desire to train. And ATHLEAN-X was sort of founded on that same concept of just give me the desire and I'll give you the program that works. So I mentioned to you the ab tree outside, but I did have an alternative inside to do pull-ups. And it wasn't a bar that you guys are familiar with, right, that would fit in between a doorway. Now for me, I had to have an alternative, and I thought it'd be worthwhile to show you what that was. Right here. This support beam in my house. That's it. I didn't have room for a pull-up bar. I didn't really have any headroom for a pull-up bar. Matter of fact, I couldn't do pull-ups or chin-ups this way because I'd hit my head on the ceiling. So I'd have to do just pull-ups overhand this way, and I would just simply hook my hand over the top. But what's cool about this is, again, sort of that muscle interaction that I talk about is I'm not just working back here. I'm working my forearms and grip strength at the same time that I'm working my back, because I can't just rely on a really good solid grip. I have to hook my hands over here and build hand and grip strength and forearm strength at the same time. So just another example, guys, there are no excuses when it comes to limitations. There's always something you can do. You just have to have a way to do it. And really the way is driven, again, by, like I said, that will. So if you have a will to get better, and bigger and stronger, you're going to find a way to get to that goal. For me, there's some stupid support beam in my house that served as the perfect pull-up bar. All right, so as you can see, things have certainly changed here between the current day Xbox and where it all started. But what hasn't changed, guys, is the philosophy behind the training. When I grew up, as I said, the focus for me was trying to figure out as much as I could about training and getting bigger and stronger, but doing it in a way that A, made sense, B, was practical, and C, was useful. And that really has been a passion of mine from way back when, as you can see from the old magazines and articles that I would pour through just to try to find any relevant content. And guys, really believe me, I have thrown out thousands of magazines to get just those two files full of articles that I felt had good science and had good meaning. And then again, took that up to the next level through college and physical therapy school to try to put it all together in a way that it made sense. And bringing all that together, along with training experience and training guys throughout my entire life and top-level athletes and even just beginners, and saying, what is the stuff that works? What is simply the stuff that works? And how can I deliver it in a way that people could benefit from it all across the world? And that's how we started ATHLEAN-X, and that's how we started ATHLEAN-X here on YouTube, and that's how we're able to reach so many people and hopefully impact so many lives. And again, I think it all started way back here as a kid, wanting to do that, wanting to make an impact. And guys, I think we've made an impact. If you're not already on Team Athlean, then join me on Team Athlean. Cut out all the hours of study that you'd have to do to try to get to the point that I had to go through all that stuff. Cut out all the unuseful training techniques and workouts that would break down your body and make you look worse before they make you look better, if they ever did, that I went through. Cut out all that stuff and hopefully learn from the best of what I've been able to put together from all that stuff, which is in one complete 90-day program, ATHLEAN-X. Guys, I'm wishing you a great holiday season. If you haven't already celebrated New Year's when you see this, because this will be out a little bit earlier, have a happy New Year's. If you already did celebrate New Year's, I hope it was a great one, and I hope that you hit 2013 with a really strong mind and a real strong goal set on improving yourself this year. I'd love to have you have ATHLEAN-X be the cornerstone of that to get you into your best body this year in 2013. Thanks again, guys. Glad to bring you here into my old home and show you where it all started. Now it's time for you to start getting the best shape ever. Hope to see you on Team Athlean.